Hello and welcome again to today's an article video. Today, the article which I just read, was about the title of the article was the only thing that you need to start saying yourself to be more happy, or something very similar to this. Not exactly remembering the title, but yeah, it was uh, it was a good article, very normal, typical sort of an article to to have a great approach towards the life, when you need to deal with emotions um in a better way, when you want to deal with emotions in a better way. So yeah, the article starts with this story. There is this very saint sort of a personality in a village. Many people just goes there and like deals with their daily problems, and because he is very great with giving the solutions, so he's a kind of a very saint sort of a personality. One day a man comes to him and says, someday I'm happy, someday I'm angry, someday I am sad, someday I am very bored or something, whatever, like that. Like, I am trapped into this constant uh, cycle of being very emotional, or being very mood swingy person all the bloody time. So what the saint or sage does is, he takes the man to the river. He asks the man, what are you seeing? He says, I see my reflection, I see water, i see I see water. Then the saint throws the stone in the river, or in the water, and he asks him again, what are you seeing? He says, I'm watching the ripples. I am watching my face being shattered in the reflection. Then, after some times, Saint again asks him, what are you seeing now? He again says, I see my reflection, I see water. So the moral of the story was, as simple as we can understand. Um, what is it? Okay, so it is like, don't always depend on your emotion. Like, emotions are like just ripples of the waters only. They just comes and goes. They arrives and just vanishes, arrives and vanishes. Do not judge yourself or your life on the basis of emotions only. um, like, sometimes you're angry, sometimes you're sad, bored, happy, um, jealous. What are the other emotions? Being very bored, sleepy. Yes, emotions are the thing. That's a very natural human being. You're so much overjoyed many times, you are so much sad many times, but emotions just keeps coming and goes, comes and goes, arrives and vanishes. What 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 the story suggests, or the philosophy of Buddha which suggests, is to be alive, to be focusing on your consciousness. Like, as a metaphorically, the the story says, to be the water. The ripples comes and goes, the vortexes arrives and vanishes, but you must be realizing that you are a water. It does not affect you, should not affect you. Ripples are part of you, you are not part of the ripples, right? They arise and goes. The only thing which is always there is your consciousness, your awareness. And this approach with life helps a lot, I would say. And also, the article was saying, not focusing too much on the emotions, because they are not confined for the longer period of time. Like, just now I feel happy, second after that I'll feel very angry, second after that I'll feel very jealous, after that very bored, very sleepy, and the cycle goes. And if I keep judging myself on the basis of this very short term emotions, I won't be very much satisfied, or whatever. I won't be able to live the life the way it is. So, like what he says, the author of the article suggests is to constantly watch your emotion, to be an observer of the emotions, and this helps a lot. Um I'll use my personal example for this. I went to Vipassana back in last May, and it was a fantastic experience. The only thing it was they were teaching was emotions are just like, all the emotions are part of two things, whether it's a craving or whether it's a aversion. Let's just say sadness is aversion. It's a part of those emotions. Happiness is, you like happiness because you want happiness. That's a craving for the happiness. A version of the sadness or angriness is what we always have, and that's why we want more happiness. Sometimes we don't like bad emotions all the times, and it's just that you just like or do not like, sort of a thing. Just do not do this. Like, this things happens, emotions just keeps coming and going. Be the observer of that thing and not being part of that thing. Okay, like, even though I'm a part of that thing, I'm very much aware and very much distant about that emotion, and not judging myself or judging my life or taking the decisions based on those emotions, right? And being just an of observer of the emotions helps a lot. And that this thing, I'm noticing a lot that you can't ever be rely on your emotions. These are just bloody worthless things, right? Okay, like, you feel happy, okay, that's great. You feel sad, that's okay as well. That's okay as well. It's just an emotion. It will come and go, come and go, come and go. See your life as a whole consciousness, as a whole ocean itself. um, there was this one quote by Eckhart Tolle in the article that um, do not rely on emotions and something like that. I just don't remember. I'm very bad at remembering nowadays. I don't know why it just happens. Maybe it's because of social media or whatever. I just don't know. But yeah, this was the article. I don't remember much of this, but the main essence of the article was this: do not be dependent on the emotions. Rather than this, be like very try to be very distant from this emotion and try to observe them all the time, and this will help you a lot. Will help you into for taking the good decisions. Of course, there are many times emotions you feel for your family. This is now this is what I feel personally about this thing. You feel for your family. It's not it's not of any worth if you don't feel bad if somebody very near to you is in the trouble. That's an emotion that is what makes you a human. That's a very biological thing. But the only thing that being aware about these emotions helps you is to have a great decisions into life when such situation arrives. Whether it's a good emotion or bad emotion, just be aware of that. Don't be too much part of that emotion, right? Try to just observe and adapt. Observe and adapt, or observe and notice what's happening, and this will help you immensely of how you see the life. Um, I agree with the article totally. um, what other than that? Yeah, nowadays I'm seeing that I'm being very much, like, I'm being very much aware, or like I'm noticing that I'm very much dependent or dependent on other people's opinion. I should not be, which I should not. Whether I value myself or not, that's an important thing. Because other than that, any bloody chunnu munnu will come and will say anything to you and will just start believing that, and you will not see your potential as fullest. I don't know. But yeah, just observe. These are just emotions. And yeah, that's it. This was an article, day 2. I tried to speak as betterly as I could, and I want to improve, of course. I want to improve my kind of the point making ability, step by step. And I want to be more and more critical in terms of thinking, as a good thinker or whatever. I just don't know. But yeah, it was an article, day 2. See you tomorrow.